Here, let me adjust that screen a little bit. Going to have to work on that screen. Uh, if you've been following me, and I appreciate you coming back, it really means a lot to me. But when I lived in uh, Frederick, Maryland, because my job was seasonal, I'd work hard in the summer and I'd take off in the winter bum the west. And we were out in, been down to Billy Kid's Museum right around Lincoln, New Mexico. And I went into a store in Lincoln, New Mexico, and found all kinds of Western books. I bought two or three of them. I no longer had the book with me, but one was about all the hangings out in the West. And it sounds kind of gruesome, but some of the stories were kind of cute. And I want to share two of them with you today. One was, let me set this up for you. The sheriff was like a Barney Fife type of guy. Mild-mannered, knew at his job. And there was a woman who killed her lover with a knife. Well, they had a trial. It was she was jealous, and she was sentenced to be hanged until she was dead. Well, they didn't have many trees there, so they had to go to the outskirts of town. And so they had her on a buckboard, and the town followed her out. And they threw the rope over the tree and put the rope around her neck. But the sheriff forgot to tie her hands. Now, so they drove the wagon out from under, and she's dangling. Now she's got her hands up over the ropes trying to get loose. And what does the sheriff do? He runs around and wraps his arms around her legs and starts going up and down, trying to hang her. Now the mob, the crowd took him away, and then they had a big debate. They said, well, she'd been hung, so let her go. But then someone read the sentence which said hanged until death, so they hung her. I think it'd been me. I think I would have back to the judge and let her go. She went to another state. Now another story I read, because I used to do gun tricks. I still practice once in a while. Remember back in those days, a .45 was not like what we have nowadays. You generally only kept 5 bullets in them because you could hit the hammer. If you dropped the gun, it would go off. Well, a guy was drunk in a bar, and he was doing gun tricks, but the gun went off. So drunky, she didn't think, even try to take the bullets out, and it killed the man. And what does he do? He says, oh, well, it was an accident. Oh, well, it's an accident. So they go on trying to do it again. He tried doing it again with his gun and just doing some more tricks. But this time the gun went off, and it went through the back wing doors, went across the street, and killed an old lady sitting in a rocking chair. Well, he says, oh, well, it's an accident. But before he could do any more gun tricks, the mob grabbed him, put him in jail. Okay. That night they broke him out, and they hung him, I believe to a telephone pole, or telegraph pole. And they put a note on his boots, says, this was no accident. Those are two true stories. I'm sure if you go on the Amazon or eBay, you'll be able to find that book. It was about 20 years ago. If I ever find it, I'd like to do it over again, read it over again. Anyway, it gives me great pleasure to share some of these true stories with you. And please come back. And don't forget, we have plenty of playlists. The playlist is basically just a classification of your stories. I'm going to put this one under several classifications.